Vivek Ramaswamy says he will withdraw from the Colorado primary ballot unless Trump is on it. And Colorado's Republican Party responded to Ramaswamy. You won't have to, meaning he won't have to withdraw, because we will withdraw from the primary as a party and convert to a pure caucus system if this is allowed to stand.
There was no trial on any of this. They basically just said, what, you can't be on the ballot? I mean, how does that work? What's the limiting principle for that?
I don't think Donald Trump needs to be president. I think I need to be president. I think that's good for the country. But I will beat him fair and square. We don't need to have judges making these decisions. We need voters to make these decisions.
This case, of course, will go well beyond Colorado. There are more than a dozen states also considering similar legal challenges, trying to keep Trump's name off the ballot.
The Constitution provides specifically for disqualification for people who fought in the Civil War. Now, Trump's old, but not old enough to have fought in the Civil War. It also leaves it to Congress to decide what this means, because it's very open-ended. If the Colorado court were to be correct, it would just basically amend the constitutional rules on impeachment. After all, insurrection is an impeachable offense. And if they were to impeach him under that provision, you'd need a vote of the House, 2/3 of the Senate. But the way the Colorado court, consisting of all Democrats, absurdly interpreted this provision, all you have to do is get anybody saying, well, I think what he did was an insurrection. There's no process. There's no procedure for how you decide it. Do you need a conviction? Do you need a vote of some kind by some legislative body? You can't just have a provision that's self-enforcing. And the provision itself says the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation this article, but they haven't done it. So there is nothing to this argument. It's just a political ploy. It is the most undemocratic decision imaginable, taking away the right to vote. Forget about Trump's right to run. It's your right to vote, because if this can be done in Colorado, it can be done in New York, it can be done in Florida, it can be done in purple states, and it will mean the election is determined by 7 judges or a dozen judges in different states rather than by the people of the United States. It's the most undemocratic, unconstitutional decision I've seen in a long time. And I think the 14th Amendment provision doesn't apply to a president. It could have said no person shall be a president, senator, or representative. It doesn't. Then it gives the oath of office, but it gives the senatorial and congressional oath of office, not the presidential oath of office. The presidential oath of office uses a different word than the other two, and that was the basis for the lower court decision. But this court swept all of that away. This is just part of the get Trump attempt to prevent him from running. Look, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I want to have the right to vote against Trump, just like you have the right to vote for Trump. And that right can't be denied us by a Colorado court or by a Michigan court or by any court. It's just not the way the Constitution operates. If Congress did this, that would present a very interesting constitutional issue. But without a Congress passing a statute, setting out procedures, how many votes you need. After all, to remove a president, you need 2/3 of the Senate.
Yeah.
An almost impossible burden. Imagine that the framers of the 14th Amendment would say, oh, let's get an easy way around the impeachment and just say that anybody can make the claim that it's an insurrection and he won't be able to run.
This is about our democracy. When the Democrats say our democracy is at stake, it is, because they're trying to destroy it. What really this is about is the left has engaged in an unmitigated campaign against the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court right now is the only thing protecting Americans and our democracy before it crumbles.